Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Board Games Unlocked, and we are doing a discussion over Menara. We're on this dexterity game kick, because we played Men at Work, and I think during that discussion, we were talking about this one and a few other ones that you should see discussion for. But this game was always raved about by Z from the Dice Tower, and I was like, you know what, I'm finally just going to pick up a copy, because, I mean, how many cooperative dexterity games are there? I think Catacombs is
I don't know.
co-op.
Because I don't play a ton of dexterity games.
Right.
So I don't know.
Yeah. And as you can see, we did not do well.
We did well.
We did well.
We did not do well enough.
And
We completed the goal.
yes.
We didn't complete the game.
Right. We're like, hey, we got our stories. Awesome. Oh, we have to keep going. That's right.
Right.
And then this is I think this game is an absolute blast, but it is weirdly brutal.
But it's a co-op game.
Yeah,
so to me,
I guess it's
it
meant to
needs
be.
to be weirdly brutal. Like, to me, the best co-op games are the ones you practically never win.
Yes. Yeah. In a fair way.
In a fair way. Right.
But, well, for me, that would be more about the strategy of figuring out how to win. This has some strategy.
Oh, yeah.
It actually does, because the way we were playing it is different than the way I was playing it the first time, where we were basically just going by the seat of our pants.
Right.
Of like, okay, let's just flip over and see if we can do them. But yeah, you have a decent amount of control in what you're placing, and
some strategy and understand, like, you might hand tiles over to the pool because you don't need them, but you might need them.
Yeah.
Or you might take ones because, hey, if you fail, I don't want to lose that one right now.
Right.
It doesn't help anybody today, but might help them tomorrow if we get the opportunity, because there were a couple times where realistically, like, I just want to dump all those out and put them back in the bag.
Yeah. And this is one of the few games where I actually will look at, like, the cards in the deck and count.
Yes.
Because it's like, okay, can we complete a hard one? Because the game ends in one of three ways. Like, you have to have a certain number of floors to win.
Yep.
The game ends if you run out of cards, columns, or tiles. So it's like, eventually you could go the route of just get the easy ones.
Right.
But eventually the hard ones are going to stay there. And then it's like, oh, that's right. We have to do those.
Which is why, to me, that's where the cool balance is because if there's, like, if you can go through the booklet and ask and say, like, hey, can I complete every single hard one? And you should do a hard one.
Yeah.
Because that allows you to get the hard ones out and allows the medium easy ones to be more available. So the next time it's like, okay, yeah, we're going to have some difficulty. So play an easy one, we'll get something figured out, and then work it from there.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't really see a lot of, dexterity games that are, one, cooperative and have strategy.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's also really, it's really cool because it's a fun dexterity game. Yeah. And kind of like what we were talking about with Men at Work, how everyone's still involved.
Right.
Even though it's competitive. This is cooperative, so everyone's completely involved.
Right.
Trying to be like, okay, do we finish out this section so that we can place that? How do we place it? Where should we place it? And then still relying on everyone being dexterous enough to be able to place the columns.
Stop it. We win together, or I lose.
No, but that's what makes these games so much fun. Is that even whenever, like, you were, like, placing it and you knocked it and just, it's like,
yep,
right.
It's just hilarious instead of like, you fucked us.
Right.
I saw you were close, and then you went, oh hell.
Like, just,
we were in the easy end stage.
all you had to do was not that.
Yes.
But yeah, like, so, Brett, what do you think of the game?
It's very good.
You like it?
Very good. Original concept. Again, don't know anything else I can think of that's any kind of dexterity or physical type building type game outside of, like, Legos.
Right. Yeah.
That's cooperative. And again, a decent amount of strategy, a decent amount of control of the odds, but the odds are still going to catch up with you at some point.
Yeah, there's never a time, like, even whenever you're setting up and actually building the tower, it's like, okay, that's the best it can be structurally sound, and it feels so flimsy.
Well,
like,
and even in the easy stage, all we got to do is not touch that edge.
right.
Oh,
Right.
but I got to place this one right there.
Yeah. And and the cards aren't so restricted. I mean, there are some for sure that are like you have to put them all on one tile.
Right.
But for the most part, like the one where it's like you would think it's really hard, where you have to take one that has one, like taking that and having to keep it balanced to like move it down to the bottom, or it's like, ooh, but if we can move it up and place it on there, that would get us our story quota.
Show off.
So it has kind of like, like what Men at Work has, where you have to balance certain things as you touch them. There's not a whole lot of like balancing. You're just building a structure.
Right, but like to me, Men at Work, the structure tends to be a little bit more solid overall.
Yeah.
There are pieces that can be not solid. After you get past the second layer, it's not solid anymore. In this game.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where it's like, and it's all super kind of unique shapes.
Yeah.
It's interesting that they have different quantities for the colors of pillars.
Yes.
So that can get burned. You can get burned on that aspect.
Yeah, especially because the cards will dictate what side you have to use.
Right.
And the sides will also, one, it changes how you would place it. But also what colors you need.
Right.
But even whenever, because like I've had this shape before and it was always awful, but our random orientation happened to be like the perfect
Right.
spot to lay it down.
And it fit perfectly, and it was solid,
Yep.
and so it's those type of things that I do think this game shines in. And I can understand why Z likes this game a lot. It is cooperative. It's strategic.
Simple.
It's simple. Again, it's 2-3 pages of rules.
Yep.
And then basically, let's just explain everything, like every card.
Yeah, that's literally it.
That's
And
it.
what I've done every time I've played is I've just kept it open.
Right.
I'm like, I wish I had it on the back.
Right.
I much prefer that, but
But it is also in 4 languages, the rule book, so putting it on
Yeah.
the back would be semi-difficult, because it'd probably be in German, because I think they're German.
I would go out of my way to say they are a German company. But what's also insane is there are 3 levels of difficulty where it's easy goes, you have to have a story of 3, mediums 4, hards 5.
Right.
And that also dictates how many columns you have in your hand based off the number of players.
Ah.
So if we were playing on hard difficulty at 3, we'd only have 4 tiles. Like in our hand. Or 4 columns, sorry, not tiles, 4 columns.
Wow.
If you're playing with 4, it's the same. So you have 4 people who have 4 columns, and you have to create a tower of 5 stories high.
Right.
Yeah.
While
I mean,
also...
Come to think of it, even without the dexterity aspect, it's not a bad game.
No, exactly.
Even if you
Right.
didn't have to worry about things falling over.
Yeah, like that's insane. But what's great about that is it doesn't become... Like, they don't add all this extra shit to
Right.
make it hard. It's literally the same, like...
It's just limiting.
Yeah.
You now are more limited on what tiles you have.
Yeah, and I
More
bet
limited.
you're way more counting on the... Like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
I know for a fact there's 30 yellows, 6 blue, 8 white.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I bet people who play this on hard are like so meticulous about like what's getting placed. Okay, no, you always hold a white because for this tile, like just weird shit that like people do. But I like the camp aspect, and that's also for the fact that that's 5 cards at the beginning. If you can't fulfill a construction, it's not like, well, you lose. It's just like add it. Now you have to have an extra floor.
Right. And there's no way to remove it.
Right.
You have an extra floor to do.
Yeah, which is just insane. I have never won this game. It is so difficult.
Right.
But like, yeah, I agree with you. Any cooperative game should be difficult because if you win it all the time, then you figured it out. Then what's the point?
Right.
I think there's actually an expansion for this game too. No idea where I'd even find that. I actually had to buy this secondhand because I couldn't. It was out of stock everywhere. Yeah, Rituals and Ruins. I don't know what it adds, but let's see what it says. New challenging floors of the ruins provide unique tests of skill. So 5 new types of construction plan cards, 8 new temple floors, the Tears of the Gods, Red and Blue Crystal Stones, the Cards of Fate, 13 Rituals, 10 scenarios. Man, that's a lot.
Yeah.
They don't make expansions like that anymore. They usually make like one map for a game, and then it's like, okay, $30.
Right.
So, do you guys have any negatives on the game?
Can't think of anything.
Yeah.
No.
So I guess my follow-up question would be, do you like dexterity games when they're competitive or cooperative? Because we've played both this and Men at Work, and they're both, they're both dexterity-based building games.
I probably like them the same amount because, like, Men at Work, I'm still invested in everybody else's turn, even though it's competitive. And I think, like, Jenga, I'm still invested in everybody else's turn.
I guess that's true, yeah.
Like, I'm trying to think, like, especially with dexterity, because realistically, I'm kind of waiting for you to fail when it's competitive.
Yeah.
Well, when it's competitive.
Yeah.
And when it's not competitive, I'm looking for you to be successful.
Yeah, right.
And so I'm invested on your turns because of that.
Yeah.
Aspect. Where, like, you can have abstract board games where you have multiple people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care yet. Because the board state isn't at a point where I can make real 100% solid decisions yet.
Yeah.
So,
Do you care?
I do, but that has more to do with my personality.
Yeah.
Difficult games I prefer cooperative.
Sure.
For the simple fact that, we're all trying to do something hard together instead of we're each trying to outfigure each other.
Yeah.
Or set it up so that you have to do something that's almost impossible.
Yeah.
But Men at Work is great.
Yeah.
But this would be my preference.
It is interesting because it's like in the dexterity genre specifically, it's like competitive almost has an unfair advantage because it's like, well, if I'm more dexterous than you, then I have a better chance of succeeding.
Sure.
Regardless, it doesn't matter what the game is. If I'm just more skilled, then I'm most likely going to win. And in the cooperative sense, it's you're only as strong as your weakest link. If someone isn't as dexterous, then you're trying to actually course correct.
right.
And I like that. I feel bad in competitive games like that where it's like, well, you just can't physically do it, so it's not fair inherently. But here it's like, okay, how can we make it easier on you? If you can't reach or something.
Oh, now I see what you were doing.
What?
Yeah.
What?
You were trying to make it easy on me the whole time. Now
No. Yeah, this is me just like really just digging at Brett.
Right.
I mean, if you're wearing a burgundy shirt, I mean, you just kind of...
just one.
Like, if you're well into your 50s, like, you just... These games
Just
are
one.
Just not... No, but I mean, that's the thing. It's like, in a cooperative setting, which actually I lean more towards... You're incentivized to try and make everyone on the same playing field. Because otherwise, if you're just like, well, I'm going to make it easier on me, well, you're going to lose. If someone's like, oh, let me just try and reach for that. Oh, and then you lose. And you're like...
Right.
For the record, that was a genuine mistake. I didn't...
No, I know. You really didn't want to play anymore.
I didn't think...
Just look at the recording. You're just like... why would you do that? No, I know. And it's funny because I was looking at it and I'm like, oh yeah, he's going to go for the white. But subconsciously I was like, why do I feel like he's going to bump that? And it was like the slightest nudge too.
It was.
Hell, I think you even like went to lean forward and it was like, ooh. It's like, just careful, SpongeBob. Careful, SpongeBob.
It wasn't as stable as I thought it was.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, well, on a scale of 1 to 10, what are you guys giving Menara? 8. What did we give Men at Work? We gave it like a 10, didn't we?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Each of us. I'm going to say 10.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, again, for a dexterity game, I like the theme of Men at Work better.
Yeah.
I like that construction. That does go a long way. I think Men at Work is more inherently fun because it's chaotic. This doesn't feel chaotic to me. This feels very meticulous and strategic, where the dexterity matters more. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like...
Yeah, I'm probably actually the other way. To me, it's almost a strategy game that has dexterity thrown into it.
This one?
Yeah.
That's what what I meant. Is Men at Work is more chaotic, where it's like funnier and more lighter because it's like... Because it's competitive, you shouldn't be taking it too seriously. So
Right.
you're in more of a jokier mood, whereas here you're like methodically thinking about what's in the camp, what's in the decks, what's in the bag, what's in the box.
And that's for me, like, because Man at Work feels more like what I consider a dexterity game.
Yeah.
It's just pure, can you move this piece onto this, following the rules.
How
of
are
it.
you like trying to balance those bricks
Right.
on the fucking
There's no,
thing?
I mean, there's some strategy in the sense like, okay, I need to put this to try and get a certain reward, so I'm winning because it's higher than everything else.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to put this, I know it's stable enough to hold, but it's going to make everybody else life more difficult, so I'm kind of gambling on the fact that someone's going to knock it down before it gets back to my turn.
Right.
This is almost exclusively, all right, what cards are still in there?
Yeah.
Can I complete this? Mm-hmm. Should
What's
we
the next
complete this?
tile?
Yeah.
What's the
Where
next
can we
tile?
put that?
And then basically to make it challenging, it's make it dexterity.
Yeah, make it balance. Yeah, because
Right.
there was not a single move I made in Men at Work that I was like methodically planning.
Yeah, no.
Every time it came into my turn, it was like, okay, what's the new task
Right,
to
and
try and
that's
come
it.
with, and then it's like, ooh, this is fun. It quickly devolves into chaos,
Right.
and here you're trying to create structure out of it.
Right.
So it is actually interesting that even though I like the dexterity as a co-op better, I actually would rate this a 9.
Yeah.
Which is just 1 point under Men at Work.
Yeah. And that's why, for me, it's an 8. It's because to me, it's like, if I'm going to play a dexterity game, this isn't the dexterity game I'm going to pick.
You're probably going to be in a more jokier,
Yeah.
having, like beer and pretzels kind of mood.
Right. Where this is like, now, if the group is exclusively co-op players, they don't want to play competitively, yeah, this is the game I want to pick for a dex game. But if I want just sheer dexterity, which is, again, beer and pretzels, we're at a coffee shop laughing it up,
Yeah.
I want something
I don't think,
silly,
I don't see anyone like laughing while playing Menara.
Yeah,
like,
no.
It's not like, it doesn't come off to me as like a...
Because we were
a-
laughing at Men at Work.
Yeah,
multiple times. And
yeah.
this, we played
This
2
we're just
games
like-
of this, like,
Okay.
You're right.
How
It wasn't
do-
fun at all.
I'm not saying it wasn't fun. I'm just saying it wasn't
it's a different mood. It's a different idea.
But I like the
principle.
idea. It's a strategy game with a dexterity element.
Yes. As a strategy game, I probably rate this higher.
Yeah, right? Right?
But as a dexterity game, because that's what I think they're kind of going for, it's an 8 for me.
Yeah. But what's cool is you, like a lot of people, it's like, oh, I only want a few dexterity games in my
Right.
collection, or one.
Right.
You can own this and Men at Work specifically, because that's the one we played most recent, and you're going to get different feelings out of both of them. So you could own both and have for different reasons, but
Right.
still get your dexterity kick.
Right.
So, yeah. So, 8, 9, 10?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, that's our thoughts on Menara. Let us know what you think of the game in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.